guys, it's Stacy with Handmade by Stacy J. In today's knitting tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do the zigzag rib stitch. Take a look at this. Isn't this neat? It's got so much texture, and that's the front. Here's what the back looks like. It's just such a neat stitch. And would you believe it's only worked using knit and purl. It's just a combination of the two stitches, and it's not hard at all. The beginning parts, once you're getting the hang of it, can be a little bit tricky, but I'll walk you through each of the steps. And before we go any further, please remember to like, subscribe. If you want written directions, they are on my website at www.handmadebystacyj.com. So grab your needles, grab some yarn, and let's go ahead and get started. Now it's worked in multiples of 3 plus 1. So for this sample, I cast on 28 using the long tail cast on method. So let me show you how row 1 gets started. And row 1 is your right side, and the right side shows your zigzags. The back side is also nice, but it's nice and flat. It doesn't quite have the texture that the front does. So to get started on row 1, we're going to begin by purling 1. Then this is where it gets a little bit different. So we're going to knit in the back loop of the second stitch. So the second one right here, we're going to knit into, and we're going to leave that stitch on the needle, because then we're going to come around front and we're going to knit in the front of the first stitch. And then you slide those two off, then you'll purl 1. And then you do that again. So that's your stitch repeat. So we'll knit into the back of that second stitch. I'm trying to keep my finger out of the way so you can see. So that second stitch, we come around the front and we go through the front of that first stitch. Then we slide those two off and then we purl. And that's how you work down that row. I'm going to show you one more time. Knit in the back stitch of that, or the back loop of that second stitch. Bring it around, knit through the front of the first stitch. Slide those two off and purl. We'll do it again. Knit into the back of that second. There we go. Bring it around the front, knit through the front of the first. And then purl. For row 2, we'll begin by knitting 1. Then we're going to purl into the second stitch, and then we're going to purl into the first stitch. And the way we do that is we purl, purl, and we leave that stitch on there, and then we're going to come into this front one, and then we're going to purl. Then those two stitches come off, and then you knit the next one. So do that again. The second stitch right here, we're going to purl, and then into that first stitch, we'll do a purl. And then knit, and that's your row repeat. So purl into this second stitch, and then purl into the first stitch. Then knit. And that's all you do all the way down your row. And that is how you work the zigzag rib stitch. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up or subscribing. And I will be back soon with more tutorials. Happy knitting! Bye-bye.